Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my creative stream. Let's just see if I got everything set up correctly. I think so. Let me just check. I think that's working. That's working. Good morning, Costa. How are you this fine Saturday morning? This round, just get myself set up. Ooh, thank you very much. As you can see, we have upgraded Mr. Camera into a Logitech C920. So this is thanks to the kind donation by Quicklius, so thank you very much for that. And we've got a much higher resolution now, so this is going to be a lot easier to tell what the drawing was, whereas before it wasn't. Focus on my hand too. Yeah, I think it'll do a hand one as well. So it has got an autofocus on this camera, so if it starts focusing on the wrong bit, we'll see if we can fix that one up. Just check everything. Is the music volume okay, Costa? Because I've got the one of those nice Evanescence WoW soundtracks in the background, so hopefully it's not too loud. Don't think it is. Excuse me, because it's quite subtle anyway. Let me just check all my things are up and running how I want them to be. I think so. Right, let's have a look. Where were we at with this guy? We were doing the arm, which you got some details going. We've also got the whole of the bottom area to do as well. I'm thinking... Oops. Drop my pencil. Move those over here. Got a bit more room. I'm thinking moving on into the outline here so I can see the whole form. The only reason I wouldn't do that is maybe because I don't want to smudge this too much because my hand is resting here. So I might leave that little area till later, which means I can concentrate on the hand area first. Which I think will probably be better. I wonder if I ought to fix the focus actually to stop it zooming in and out, but sometimes I'd like to be able to do that so it can focus on the new one. I don't know how good this camera is at focusing on the details. Doesn't seem to be able to focus that close. What about there is about as close as its focus distance. Anything more than that and it's kind of lost it. So I think I'll stick with that one. Right. That's up, just make sure everything's running. Keep thinking I'm missing a window, but it's my OBS that's on the main screen. Excuse me whilst I have my morning coffee. I still need to wake up a little bit. Right, okay. Pencil wise, where's my good... Oh, there it is. This is the one. This is my favourite pencil. I'll use this one for now. Let's get this. Okay, my camera doesn't focus on me when I start drawing. I go out of shot. That's what I was going to do. Change the properties of the camera so it stays in focus. Otherwise it's going to keep flickering in and out. Let me just set that up. Configure focus. Move that over that side. And click OK. So now, yeah, now it's just focusing It's not trying to focus on my hand or anything like that. So I'll be able to start on my drawing. Going to do more of these scales because these are the fun bit. I was worried it's going to start looking a little bit like the Thing from Fantastic Four. Is it the Thing? The guy is made of rock. I was thinking of maybe taking some of these out a little bit, or at least making them a bit less defined. I don't normally like to rub stuff out whilst I'm drawing, but in this case I wonder if I should make this a little bit more subtle and then give him the scales more on the back, something like that. I've not got the best of rubbers, I don't tend to use them. Something like that. Coffee, your first sentence this morning was your start engine isn't working, but struggle even to keep your eyes open for like 40 minutes. Yeah, I do like my morning coffee. Right, so let's have a look at, yeah, that's a bit more, you can see it on the camera as well. You can actually see the fact that I've done that a little bit less. Very impressed with this camera so far. Had a few issues with the flickering and the scaling of it, getting it into HD mode, in widescreen mode rather. But this is definitely an improvement over Mr. Potato camera, which is the other one. We're slowly upgrading things. It's quite nice to be able to make improvements steadily. That's the whole point, really, is you want to move that over. Well, the white balance is going a bit odd. There it goes. It goes from lights to blue if I do that. Okay, let's fix that up. I think that's a warm enough white balance. Let's set that one up. So we'll go into the properties again and configure the white balance. Stop that from being auto, otherwise it's going to go all over the shop. There we go. Right, now when I turn it, you're not going from yellow to blue in colour temperature, which is just weird, really. I might have to move my head a bit closer to the picture, so I might go out of shot a little bit. Let me just see if I can fix that up. Oh no, it's not too bad, it's just oh, hold on. That's going to make it worse, isn't it? Yeah. I have to move the camera around. I can't rotate it, unfortunately. So now I'm stuck out the end. Hold on. It's just going to want to face forward, unfortunately. Let's move it across. There we go. That's better. I can just poke my head off in the corner. Got enough there? Yeah, we have. Alright, so thinking, has anyone, with BFA being released, the announcement for it coming out in August, has anyone in Europe or the UK seen any sight of the collector's edition yet? I know Amazon in the US is taking some pre-orders, but I'm really after a UK Amazon having it. Hoping to pick it up. I haven't checked this morning, but that's high on my agenda. I'm going to do little strokey strokes to make this. In my head I'm thinking oyster shell texture, probably a little too rough perhaps, but I'm doing like, you know how oyster shells have like that layered effect? That's why I'm doing lots of little lines across. Maybe a bit too heavy as an idea, but you never know. No, it's not available yet, is it? Okay. I'll keep an eye out. If I'm destined to have it, I'm sure it will appear on my radar. If I'm not destined to have it, then it won't. And there'll be a reason. Probably because I haven't got the ready cash for it. Would be the main reason. I mean, I was a bit disappointed looking at the collector's edition about the lack of art book, because apparently this is the first time they haven't had an art book. And I know the novella looks huge, and I'm hoping they're going to have a whole load of illustrations in there. But what I would really prefer is the art book. And what I'd like to do is get all the older collector's editions second hand or something, so that I can get the art books from those. Because I love physical art books. Are so much better in my eyes. They're so much more tactile to be able to flick through one of those than a digital one. Just something way more tactile about having something. The only thing they said about it would be about €100. Yeah, it's a shame because it's $99. So you'd think with conversion it would be something like €79 or something like that. But obviously it never always works that way, especially with computer equipment. The problem I've got here is actually it's looking a little bit furry because it's all the lines going the same direction. Maybe I need to think about this a little bit more. Although fur's not a bad idea. It's like a sea lion has fur on it. Maybe Naga are furry, like a sea lion or a duck-billed platypus. But they are definitely reptiles though, aren't they? So they're going to be more crocodilian. So think crocodilian scales for this is probably going to be more accurate. I think that's going to be more my kind of thing, I think. It's getting a little bit messy in that corner. Going to spread that out so it's not so messy, which means thinking more of the overall tone. Now that's an elbow joint, so it does have some areas of shadow and then some of light. Elbows are weird the way they hinge because you've got the two arm things coming in, and you can get a better look at for the art books. Most people don't sell the old set as the key wouldn't work. That's true. I have seen a few of the old ones because it's all integrated with the collector's editions. I see what you mean. It would be easier to get hold of an art book. I mean, I've got a visual guide of World of Warcraft that was given to me as a present from Dorian Kingsley Publishers, and that's got some nice artwork in it, but it's more complete. I like to see the concept artwork, which is kind of a bit rougher, the concept sketches. That's what I really like to see, because you can see the thinking behind the artist who's doing them, whereas a polished, finished drawing is more polished. Which way should we need to go for this? I think this way. Actually, no, I'm not going to do those lines yet. Let's keep going round. Back to where we were originally. Let's do more of this first. I need to get along here. I need to keep an eye on my YouTube video, because I don't want it to break into an advert at some point. That's doing the soundtrack in the background. It's quite nice, this Everness. It's added some nice ambience to it, with the tweeting of the birds and things, as well as the zone music in the background, which is what I had on my other streams. Okay, going a bit softer into these. Trying to keep these lines but not overly accentuate them. Like a crocodile's. Softer lines as well as harder scales. Something like that. That one's going to be darker. I'll come back to those. But this is at least shaded by the fin, so that could probably afford to go quite a bit darker on that end. Like that. Yeah. Some more coffee. Keep myself awake. Although I had a pretty good sleep last night, so don't really need it so much. Ooh, how's the Cataclysm box? That's have you got the collector's edition of Cataclysm, Costa? That's cool. I haven't seen any of them. I know they've got art books and mouse pads in them, haven't they? Traditionally before. Including a TCG redeem card. Oh, brilliant. Have you redeemed that one? Good morning. My son has just woken up. Well, no, he hasn't woken up, he's gotten up this now. It's been in your house for several years. Wow. So have you actually redeemed that card? Do you know what it is? Or is it a random one? No idea what it is yet. Are you going to redeem it? Are you going to keep it hold of it? I guess that's the thing, is you might as well redeem it. If you're not planning on selling the actual box itself. Now that's pretty cool. Well, if you do redeem it, let us know what pet you got. Is it a pet or a mount you get? I can't remember. I think they're mounts, aren't they? Or they can be mounts. I think what I'm going to do is, rather than do lots of little strokes now, because it is looking a little bit hairy, I'm going to cross those with more rough things that make it look more scaly, because it is starting to look a little bit hairy. Not kind of the look I'm going for. So as well as doing lines this way, I'm doing also lines across ways, which is a bit more scribbly. But then those will change the flow of your eye line, so it doesn't look quite so hairy. And I'll work into this a bit more. Here's the actual go that way. It's folding in. The light's coming from here, so that's probably in more shadow than it needs to be. No, that needs to be in more shadow. So I can take that a little bit darker. And that's hitting the light, that's hitting the light. And that is more ambient light. Whereas this has got the white dots there, this has to be more filled in, because then you get to the key light for the underside of the arm here. So to think that a little bit more. I don't want to do too much scaly. So let's do that. Is it always a pen? I've no idea. I haven't got a clue, Costa. But it'll be interesting to find out what it is. How do you redeem it? Do you have to redeem with like a code in game, or do you? I guess you do it on the Blizzard website, I guess, isn't it? That would make sense if I was to guess how it works. Let's go along here, along here. And that bit there is going to be darker. You got another code now. Okay, you have to go in game. Ooh, are you doing it? Are you finding it out now? Because some of them can be worth thousands. So I hear. But it's not what it's worth, it's what it's worth to you, I guess. Because like you said, it's yours. If it's always going to be yours, do that, and then that. There you go. I like this part, the noodling of the details. You can kind of do it without thinking too much about it. You can just zone into details. I usually just think about the texture that I'm trying to get and the light. like that. Riding Turtle Reigns of the Swift Spectral Tiger, Reigns of the Spectral Tiger, X51, Nether Rocket Extreme X51, and Nether Rocket, and the big Battle Bear. Okay, so there's got quite a variety there. Or nothing. Ooh, it's a possible mount. Ooh, what's it going to be? So, I wonder, can you find out what it is before you actually, click the button to redeem it? So that you could, if you wanted to sell it on, you could at least do that. I guess so, because I've seen some of them at conventions and stuff, that they have the card there, and they say what it is. So I'm assuming that they've managed to find out somehow. Now this I'm going to do as a knuckle, like a knuckle scale. So that means I need to do shadow, quite a sort of like a harder shadow line here and there. Well, I hope it's not nothing. That'd be quite disappointing after all these years. I think they should at least give you something for the card. Do that. And that one, yeah, that's going to be a knuckle. So we're going to do that. And that across. It's a random add a character at Booty Bay. Ah, right. So that needs to be shaded. Then we've got at least some detail coming in there. So touch that slightly. I might go over this in more detail later. Like if I want to make this whole area darker or anything like that. Oh, this cat wants to come in. Hold on. Right, we're back. Both cats in now. And that's looking like it's standing out because it's too light. So I'm going to carefully shade that one in a little bit more. And then I was working on this one, which I don't want to be completely smooth, so I'm doing like patches of rough shadow to break it up. think. Hey, Flight Path Acquired and Sleepy, thank you both for stopping by. How are you this fine Saturday morning? Thank you very much, Flight Path. It's very kind of you to say so. Having a lot of fun with this guy. It's taken. We've already had 2 stream sessions doing the main area, so yeah, it is taking. It's going to take a few hours to complete this one, but it's been really good fun just noodling in these details. Like here, we're just doing like really fine bits and pieces, which thankfully can be picked up by the camera now. Good morning, Goblin Initiate. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much. Yeah, this guy's getting there. I'll be looking forward to doing the actual snake part of the body. Probably won't get onto that today, but the next stream will probably build up on that. And just going through, we're going to be working our way down the arm, thinking about the direction of light, which is coming from this direction. So, which is why all the light areas are up here. But I'm also going to have a secondary light coming up from the bottom, which is why you've got light areas here, here, and under the scales. Otherwise, it would be too much shadow. So we're doing a combination of those, and then I'm mixing it up here to try and not get him too crocodile scaly. I'm going to break that up a little bit here. So that he's got sort of just a general texture of scaliness, but so that he doesn't look like the dude out of Fantastic Four. So I'm just noodling various details at the moment. As my face cam's just showing forehead cam at the moment. Try and angle that down a little bit. But then you see the boom arm, which is holding. I have to actually sit more upright, but then I can't see the. Move that back up. Then I can't see what I'm drawing. So maybe if I just change position. Go onto my knees for a little bit. That way you can at least get everything in. But just slightly beyond my comfortable viewing distance. Unless I put my glasses on. Yeah, that's more broken up. Looking at that. This was looking at this on the camera. This is looking quite dark. So if I'm going to carry this forward, this has to be also dark. And then I'm thinking, if I follow the line of the hand up and down like that, then you will get a sense of 3D-ness, because the lines are going in the direction you'd expect them to go for something that is essentially a cylindrical object. It's the same. I did the same kind of technique for the spines. But let's do that as well. Work our way. I'm kind of going all over the place with the arm, up and down, but it's good to think of it as a area as a whole, rather than getting zoned in on one individual thing. That way you don't get tunnel vision. How's the video going? Is it nearly... I've still got a little bit of time left on it. I've got it on a playlist. Not sure I've got it. Let's randomise it actually, so we don't know what zone is going to come up next. But if an advert kicks in, then I'll have to quickly mute that and skip it. Oh, hello, Puddy Tats. I'm coming to find somewhere to sleep. Hello, mate. Orio's come to see me. He's massive, aren't you? This is Oreo. He doesn't like being held, but he's massive. Absolutely massive cat. Hey Sonic Astra, how are you? Thanks for stopping by the stream. You're just noodling details at the moment. Whilst also trying to not look too much like a crocodile's back. You want it more. Well, I guess you've got that scale. So you have got a scale difference, because you don't want it all to look the same, which is why I've got these big pointy but rougher looking bits compared to this, which I'm trying to do a lot lighter and smoother and more broken up, more subtle, so that I can break up the lines like that. Seems to work better. There we go. Yes, thank you. The progress is going quite well. I aim to at least have this hand done today, and the fins, and then I'll probably get down to doing the waist, and then we've got the whole bottom tail fin area and everything to do. So probably another 2 or 3 sessions, I think, and we can have this one complete. Oh, that's a shame, Costa. I was all excited then, wondering what you'd get. I was hoping it'd be something valuable. But still, better to know, I guess, than to not know, after having it all these years. So for those who just joined us, Costa was looking at her Cataclysm Collector's Edition, which had a TCG code in it. And unfortunately, no dice this time. I have to buy another one, buy another Cataclysm Collector's Edition. Although that might be a little excessive. I don't know how much they go for now, the second-hand ones. Be careful I don't make that too hard a line. I've kind of done it now already. I don't want to rub it out because it'll lose the cleanness. So what I can do is, as I want to sort of have this almost be a muscle, I can spread the detail along here, along the line where I'd expect the muscle to be. And that way it won't, if I keep those bits, it'll be more broken up. It is sad, but I guess that's how they do it, isn't it? To keep people buying. Which is how games like, Magic the Gathering and the Pokemon trading card game, that's how they all work. And I guess to some extent, even the digital versions like Hearthstone, they work similarly on the same principle. Now that needs to be light, because we're going to have some light catching that. But this area here needs to be darker, because that's going to be in shadow. And I want the light to catch that edge, but I need some texture detail along the finger, along here. So it's kind of like a multiple lit situation. I can contrast that by making this side darker between the finger, and then we can see things differently. And your eye can pick up the detail. I'm not quite being able to focus on these. I might have to go get my glasses whilst staying on my knees. That's going to be darker. I'll do the dark bits first, so that I've got a baseline. And then that area all there is going to be dark. And then that we definitely want. This thumb, I couldn't quite work out the orientation of this one. I think it's more going to be like this, with all this area in shadow, I reckon. And then we can go and do that darker. I think. Let's get some rough detail noodled in, and then we can actually see some stuff going on here. And that corner, because that corner, what I could read is, well, that's where the thumb webbing attaches. But we want to catch some light there, so that's going to be darker, but not as light as here, but it wants to catch some light, so you know that there's light coming from here and there, which means this needs to probably be a bit darker. And then this knuckle area here was probably more in shadow than I've got it. So I can make that knuckle look like it means business. So I reckon these guys would use their fisticuffs in a battle, unarmed combat animation and all. That works quite well, doing a harder line. I want to get the roundness shape hinted at here, but with a few odd bits in it, so it's not quite. Keep the paper steady. And let's do that a bit darker. I'm really trying to almost focus back a little bit so that I'm not looking at the details, but I'm just looking at the light. Spoken like a true priest. Because that needs to be darker. Like that. And you got some details. bit darker. Got that light. Then that area there. Just stopping the paper from bouncing. It needs to be all down there. Right, okay. I was going to go and grab another coffee, so I shall be back. I'll leave the drawing up there. I shall be back in about a couple of minutes. There we are, I'm back. Let me just pop on the things. Whilst I was upstairs, I thought I'd show the book I have got, which is the let's not put that on there. The Ultimate Visual Guide I have for World of Warcraft, which is not like a proper art book, but it does go through quite a lot of different things. And I think at some point we have got the Naga in here. Naga. I say Naga rather than Naga. I prefer Naga. Garrosh. Thunderbluff. Wares. Goblins. Blood Elves. Bane. Vol'jin. Orcs. Worgen. They'll probably be in a... There we go. category of their own. So at least here you get some nice different pictures of various ones, like Queen Ashara and a few others I don't know. The High Lord one. I quite like this drawing. This picture's really nice. That's more concept-y, that one. I think then it goes into elementals and murlocs and stuff. So it's just a couple of pages on things. But that's nice. Bit of reference material. Right, so on to the rest of the fist. This definitely needs a bit of depth to it, I think, because it's only the top that's catching the main area of light. But I want it to look knobbly, not like a flat scale. That bottom area there, I would definitely want to look a bit lower. Let's just change position. I know I'm going to go out of view of the camera as I've sat down now, but I've got to make sure I'm comfortable. Then I can do that area much darker, because that's held in the shadow of the finger area. And that one can also be knuckly, like that. And then we're just going to noodle in loads of detail in different directions, so you're not sure where it's all coming from. And then the knuckle, that can catch light, and that side definitely wants to catch light. It's called you do a rim light, it's called, which is just basically light from the back catching the edge, but it's a really good way of just highlighting the edges so that your eye can pick up the detail. This has to be quite fine here, so I'm just going to do that right up to the edge, but not quite, because that's his last digit. I've decided to give him 3 fingers. I think the model in game only has 2 fingers and a thumb, whereas I think this guy should at least have 3 fingers. I don't know what they have in the Frozen Throne Warcraft 3 cinematic. Is it the Frozen Throne cinematic? It's one of the cinematics. The one when the Naga comes off from the beach. Where are we now? Just music and ambience now, I think. You've got 4 hard copies, just the normal game, and the last one you went for digital. Right. Yeah, I've got a hard copy of the original World of Warcraft. The one that came on, I think it was multiple CDs or DVDs, I can't remember. And then I've got Burning Crusade and Frozen Throne, I think, as hard copies, because they didn't do digital then. And everything after that is digital. I haven't got any hard copies since then. I haven't heard this music before. I wonder where this is from. Like what zone it is. Probably from a zone somewhere. Oh, it might be a they've got presents and stuff in it, so maybe it's a Winter's Veil thing. Maybe they did something special for that. Just looking at the visuals that come with the YouTube video. Now, I don't know what to do with the claws. Whether to do them like really dark so that they stand out. But then I also need to think about, are they going to be shiny or dull? I think I'd want to have that light and then dark there. And that dark, but then keep that bit light so that it looks contrasty. And then I can do this more darker details. That knuckle's catching the light. But all this area should be in shadow. Good morning, Detonite. How are you? Oh, and Follow Goldie. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. Sorry, I did catch up on chat then. Thank you very much, Follow Goldie. Very kind of you to say so. You're just noodling details into his fingers at the moment. Just trying to get that sense of light catching. This bit here particularly, you want the light just to catch that knuckle. And because it's so dark on this side with the other finger, it says three-dimensional. And then we can make some darker tones here. But I want to get a bit of texture in here as well, so that I'm doing like smaller, scaly details. Because fingers are, because they bend and flex so much, you can't have big scales on them. I mean, you can on the tops of the knuckles, because those are the hard areas that are more resistant, but then the rest, if you're going to have any detail in it, it has to be quite small really, otherwise it's not going to be functional as a finger in reality, in nature. So I guess the best way to look at this would be, say, to look at a crocodile's foot or its front paws. Does a crocodile have paws or feet? I wonder. So that's just caught the outside line of that. I want to do and this is much more in shadow, but able to also catch the fill light. So I'll leave that side lighter. This side darker. And this isn't as raised as that one, so I think this one could do with being in a little bit more shadow and then catch the light further down in. I'll reserve this area for lightness, and then that can be filled in more shady, shadowy. Like that. One happy little Naga with his hand being drawn in. Oops, didn't mean to go over that bit. Where's the light coming? Not there. Okay, stand on the keyboard. There we go. So I think that the light's coming there. That needs to be hit. That needs to be more in shadow. This whole lot needs to be in shadow. I need to get a sense of direction. And that's darker. That's darker. This whole knuckle bit's darker. With little scaly details. With a crossover of bits there. And then that needs to be broken up a little. And then that there. So it. Good morning, Rasheen. How are you? Thank you very much. We are probably looking at hours-wise. What did we do? We did about 4 hours for the head, and probably another 3.5 for here. And then we're about an hour in on doing the arm, I would say. Good morning, Pop Geek, as well. Thanks for stopping by. So we're coming up for probably up to about 10 hours, I think, time-wise on this one. I mean, you can draw these, well, you can draw these fairly quickly if you're just doing sketchy stuff. But the minute you start doing noodly details like I'm doing, the time it takes to do just ramps up massively. But it's, I think, this is the part that I really enjoy, is noodling details and getting just bits of detail put in. Somehow I want to make that one a crease, but also is looking a bit kind of nondescript. I'm not sure what that claw's doing actually. It's kind of a weird shape. I'll probably just pull that out a little bit. Like that. And then we can make this whole area much darker. So our thumb, this bit's catching the light that comes in from the side. That's a lot of hours. It is, Rasheen, but the thing I enjoy about this is I find it incredibly relaxing to do it. I just get my head into that zone. And obviously I've been doing this on stream as well, so it's been great chatting to everyone as well about gold and collector's editions and all sorts. So it's like having a load of friends alongside you whilst you're just kind of doing your own things, which you don't tend to do when you're doing, I mean, drawing can be such a solo activity. You know, a lot of the time you just put music on or something like that, which I've also got on. Got the World of Warcraft ambient music on by Everness YouTube channel, which is absolutely brilliant. So it sticks with the World of Warcraft theme, but isn't too distracting. I've got quite a nice crack detail coming up there, so I'm just going to accentuate that and pull that in. There's another one there. We can pull in like that. Overall, now looking at, oh, we haven't done the claw. Let's do the claw. I'm going to do the same as the other one. Light that side. And then dark. Here. Like super sharp. Then I'll do light just on the edge of that one. So it's like a double light. I'm not going to make it super black either, because I want to be able to see some of this detail. That really needs to be darker. Trying to think about the light on that one. You're more of a musician than a drawer. Well, that's cool. It's another form of creativity, Rasheen, though, isn't it? Hey, Corvusatus, thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. This is, as Rasheen was saying, it's all can't deal with all the tiny little mini details. Yeah, that's where I get lost. I get lost in the details, which means for me, with my personality, I tend to lose sight of the bigger picture quite often. So I do have to pull myself back every now and again and just look overall at everything. Yeah, drives you nuts, definitely. Which, for someone who's got such a disorganised guild bank, you'd be surprised that I like doing all the little details. I guess it's kind of like a different kind of detail. I struggle on the organisation side of things, but I'm okay with this kind of thing. I can actually use the camera as a second perspective on this. So looking at through the camera, this is lacking some definition. It's a bit too light around this side. So I need to tone this whole area down a little bit. It's just getting a little bit scribbly though, so I want to maybe just get some lines and some definition in. Otherwise we're going to lose the shape of the finger. I like the little shapes that I've got going on. I think I just need, if I go over them, the ones that I like, then I can pull out the contrast a bit more. Just as another layer on top, really. Hey Ryuka, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing? Do I sell my drawings? It's not something I've well, I've had kind of thought about it, but I think I would like to do something with them. There's no point in them just staying in my possession. I wasn't sure about doing, like, using my drawings as part of a giveaway for when I reach certain milestones, like 1,000 follows on Twitch or 1,000 subs on YouTube. So those are my next big milestones. Or just general giveaways, or I can't remember who, I think it was Emery suggested putting them on Etsy, which could be a market for them. I mean, this is, I had been doing a lot of digital drawings, which I think don't have quite as much value to them because they're digital, whereas doing something tactile original like this, I think does work a bit better. Good morning, Mr. Grumpy Face. How are you? Just woke up. Was leveling till 5 a.m. yesterday. Wow, Riker, that's some hard. How did you get on? How did you get on with your leveling? I know it can take some hours, which is why I haven't leveled many of my other characters, because I spend so long in the auction house. I barely, that and the Draenor flying, I barely get outside in terms of Azeroth outside, if you see what I mean. But no, it's always a challenge in WoW what to spend your time on. Thank you very much, Mr. Grumpy Face. That's very kind of you to say so. Yeah, I don't know really. I mean, this one's going to take me quite a few hours, so I'm not sure what I could do with this one. I might give away, I'm not sure. I did the Gen Grey main one. I've still got that one. And then I've got my other two that I did whilst I was on holiday last year. The Gallywix one and the Ogron one. So the only ones I've got, where's my thing? You have a couple of hours before you go to work, so you get to check out some streams. Yeah, you were saying that the other day, isn't it? It's trying to find the time to check out streams at the same time. So I've got that one. We've got Gen from the first stream. And then, hold on, let me stand up. And then in my sketchbook, I've got the Ogron I did, and I've got, this is inked in as well, so it's a bit more defined, and I've got my Jaster Gallywix drawing I did as well. That's all I've done in the sketchbook, 2 pictures. The plan was to do World of Warcraft characters in this, but for the streams I thought it'd be nicer to do everything on like decent sized watercolour paper, because these are A3 size, so they're kind of it's nice to have something a bit bigger. Yeah, turn that down so there we go. So I'm slowly building up my collection of drawings, of World of Warcraft drawings that is. I mean, I have other drawings that I did digitally of animals. I'm not sure if I can show them on stream because they're obviously digital. I could do with printing them out. I did that the other day with the ones that I printed out onto canvas. I got this great big elephant drawing. Actually, I could probably, now that I've got a better camera, I could show those a bit better. Hold on. Much more detail you can see with the stream camera. Yeah, although I have got a better camera now, Ryuka, so that is hopefully slightly improved. I don't know how well this one comes out. So this is on wood, this one, and then I've oil painted. I printed this onto canvas. So this cheetah is one I've done, like just on a wooden. Turn it over, just like a wooden frame. So I don't think you can see the whole of the picture. Hold on, if I can zoom out on my camera a little bit. Hold on. And I think you can see. Where's the zoom? Configure video. Camera control. Let's move that down. Let's see if the zoom out works. There, let's see a little bit more detail. A bit more on that one. And then I did a couple more. A leopard one I was quite happy with for that one. That's printed onto canvas. And one of the last ones I did digitally was this elephant, which I think, there you go, you can see down to the trunk and stuff. That's all on. That was all done digitally, but then printed onto canvas. So those are, not sure what I'm going to do with those yet. Yeah, let's move that back and zoom back in. Where's my zoom? Doesn't zoom a massive amount, but it does zoom in a little bit, the camera. Very pleased with the camera actually. It does pick up a lot of the details. Thank you very much, it's very kind of you. I don't do drawing enough. When I used to, back when I was doing things digitally, I used to do it on my commute on the way to work. But I don't have a tablet for doing that now, because I had to give it back for work. But I do enjoy doing these ones on stream because they're originals on paper. Because there's something I much prefer about it. There we go. And we're getting some more details in this finger. It feels like it's getting a bit more three-dimensional. A bit like that. Hey, can you do the Left 4 Dead tank? I'm not one that does much other than World of Warcraft, but thanks for stopping by, Woken. I'm going to stick with the World of Warcraft theme for now because there's so much to do in WoW, and I like to tie it in with my gold making stream by doing World of Warcraft drawing streams as well. Saturday morning chilling stream, absolutely. That's how I like to do it, Roka. That's the thing about drawing, is I really do enjoy the process of just zoning out into the details and chatting at the same time, which is just cool. I'm going to come back to this, I think. What I'll do is I'll do this arm fin, because then we can get an idea about the sort of the details the shadow details needed for this. Am I a fan of owls? I like all animals. Owls are pretty cool. Apparently we had one tweeting in the trees outside our house last night. I didn't hear it myself, but my son did, which is cool. I really love listening to owls at night. I remember one winter I was cycling to work in the dark and a barn owl came flying right in front of me, and that was amazing. I did draw an owl once, digitally. And I used trees as a picture to do the feathers, so it's kind of like a composition of owl, trees, forest thing. So I turn this upside down so I can do the roundy strokes that define this as curvy. Which makes it a lot easier to follow your line over. Not sure where the light's coming from here, because it's all in shadow really. I wonder whether it should really be light in the middle and dark on the edges, or maybe light on one side. I'm not quite sure. It's probably going to come out in the drawing if I'm not sure. So let's make a decision. Let's go left in shadow. We can do that side like that. And then that at least looks like it's 3D. These are tiny, tiny lines, but they do give you the shape. They have to be curved. If they're not curved, you don't get the shape. There we go. Oh, thank you, Mr. Grumpy Face. That's incredibly kind of you. Some thumbs up for the cheer. Thank you ever so much. And some chef's hats as well. We like our chef's hats. Thank you ever so much. Very kind of you. Yeah, we're going to do a bit more details. Do. Right to the tip. And then this one, I'm going to stick with the left hand side, which should be the right when I turn it round. And we'll do round, around and round. And carry on with it. There we go. The pillow of my couch, now the centre of my camera. Oh yeah, that's true. Point it face a bit more down. Okay. If I do point it further down, it's because I've moved myself to the right. Hold on. There we go. if I kneel here, that'll be easier. It's easier to move me than it is to move the camera, because if I move it any further down, it catches the boom arm that's holding the microphone. If I move it down, you can see that's just in the way, and that's holding the camera, the other camera up. So we'll just sit in front of it again. Yeah, that's the easier bit. Although when I'm sitting in front like this, I am kneeling, so I can't do it for too long. I need to think of a more ergonomic drawing stream, because I'm using the same setup with the computer. I could probably do with having like a proper studio. Right, now the fun part is drawing in the lines for the good thing about these is you can be quite bold with these. You have to be sure where you're going. See, I've lost the edge of that, so I need to make sure I come back to that with do darker details there. So I want to make sure I come back and get that darkness line, that one there, back in, and this darker. And that darker. But keep some of the lines in. Should have really done the back one first, otherwise I'm going to go over this and smudge it slightly, or I'm at risk of doing that. Just little tiny details down there. And then right, let's do this one. Now we're going to go around this. Let's do it this side. I think I would be better. Yes, we did do that one, Woken, didn't we? We said I'm sticking to World of Warcraft characters at the moment. I'm not even sure I know what the Left 4 Dead tank looks like, to be honest. I haven't played Left 4 Dead well, I haven't played it at all, in fact, but I've seen it. Okay. Now on this, I definitely want to do another dark line. Like that. And then dark, 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 dark in that corner. So you've got the shape like that, I think. And then we can do the middle two, which are also going to be really dark, I think. Yeah. Do the long lines. That's it. Be bold, as Bob Ross would say. And we come back in there and do the finer bits that we need, which is that. I was holding my breath whilst doing this. Don't want to go over that line in the middle bit there. I quite like the way that's going lighter than darker, so I wonder if I could, because it's almost like the sunshine going through the transparency of these. So maybe I just need to, I still need to keep this dark, I think. That's quite nice, that little dot. I might keep that, because that looks like a little whelk line or something. And I'm keeping the tips light. There we go. And then that think I want to do a little bit darker. So we've got some kind of lines there. Oh, looks like that. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's got a very tiny head. I mean, it's... The thing looking at that is you look at the sort of silhouette of it, and it's kind of a mush of shapes. It's a bit like... Oh, it's having a sneeze. Yeah, I could... Oh, hold on. Oh, excuse me. Good morning, Mama Kinder. How are you? Thanks for stopping by. It's pretty cool until you have to fight it. Yeah. So what I was saying about that is you're losing a lot of the definition in the silhouette of the drawing of the wave. That is. Thank you very much, Mama Kinder. I've had this music before. Let's mix it up a little bit. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, there's an ad. Hold on.
Is easier than you think.
Skip the ad. There we go. Brewfest. Oh, we don't want Brewfest. What's next? Dragonblight. That's a good one. Let's go with that. Excuse me, I have to blow my nose. Right, we're going to do this. We're going to have some coffee first, and then we'll get back in there. Okay, we definitely want to do some more lines to finish this area off. So thinking long strokes to get that line. Going, and there, slight curve to it, keeping the pencil rotated every now and again so you get the sharp lines. And then go back over it using the lines I've done to generate some shadow. I've avoided this area because if I went quickly over there I'd end up going over it, but then I can start down here and do little flicks. To get that detail in without going. I want to preserve this line. Like that. Right. I quite like those light bits, but they're too light. They do need to go darker. So I'll just go over those. And then let's get some, we need some variation in here because we're losing this at the top. So I want it to be, well, that needs to go darker. Because that's in shadow. Which means that needs to be really dark down there. And then let's get some light catching there. There we go. And that's a crease, there's a cut in there. So if we do that dark that follows it down, then it will say that bit was cut all the way through. And so was that. Just looking at the camera as well, because that gives me a different perspective. And then that's darker. The new request is Goro in Mortal Kombat. Ah, interesting. I haven't played Mortal Kombat in years. What's Goro look like? What about think of a World of Warcraft character, Woken. We're sticking to World of Warcraft theme. And I know people have already said Murloc would be a nice one to do. But there's so many nice ones to do. Let's just move that out of the way. I'm going to have to sit down again. Sorry if I'm going to move out of camera. I'll try and sit upright as I do it. So that's the hand mainly done. I'm going to probably come back to it though for some different light and shadow detail for that arm. But I'm going to keep that rough. We may finish that a bit more. But what I'm thinking now is torso area. Oh, Igor, thank you ever so much for the follow. Very kind of you. What have we got? The Sentinel. What's the Sentinel coster? We'll have to see a picture of that. And Hogger would be sweet. That's a cool one. B-Man, thanks for that suggestion. Yeah, I like the. I was going to say Worgen. I don't mean Worgen. Are they gnolls? Hogger's a gnoll, isn't he? Yeah. I was thinking EverQuest gnolls. I was thinking, what was the Fippy Darkpaw from EverQuest? But that's a different kind. But they are the same kind of hyena cross humanoid thing. But yeah, Hogger's a good one. I love that cosplay Hogger that someone did for the last BlizzCon. That was awesome. Now, how am I going to do this? We've got these diamondy scales for this part of the torso, which I think I ought to really continue down to at least the waist area, if not the entire thing, because that's when the body goes. I mean, these shoulders are more crocodilian. Then you've got the fins. These are more octopusy, the tendrils that come down, but the body is very much snake, because A, it's sinuous, B, it's flexible, but this is also the torso of a human. So I need to think snake, but also think human torso and abdominals here, because this is very much, you can almost see the hips here. Let's draw these lines in a little bit more. I need a bit of paper. Oh, there's a there's a photo of my dog when she was around. put it on here. There you go. That's my dog. I took a photo ages ago. Sadly, she's not with us anymore. But this is what I was looking for. This is my bit of paper. This is my reference. If you're... Oh, there's an image on Discord. Okay, I'll check that out after Gusto. Actually, I've got it up. Actually, let's have a look. So this is from the World of Warcraft model viewer. So you can see I've got the pose reference and everything. But obviously this is lacking in a lot of details at the moment. Oh, Leech, thank you ever so much for the follow. So because my scaled up version, you know, I'm going for a lot more detail than this one. And I wasn't so keen on these big lines here. But I might incorporate something like that into here. And this bit here, you don't see the pectoral muscles so much, which is why I've kept the pectoral muscles of the humanoid here. And then this bit here, this has obviously been distorted because of the low polygons of the model. You can see the crease there, because this is obviously in-game rather than cinematic. So I've accentuated that more so with this crocodilian-y, spiky up bit. But what I wanted to do was just turn that over so I can rest my hand on here and do this one. Ooh. I just leant on something. Oh, that's gone off there. There we go. There we go. Hey Sharkin, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. How are you doing? I'm going to do that line, and this is your oblique muscles, which are the ones that go around the side. And if you're a particularly muscly person, you can see them popping out a bit more. So as this myrmidon is quite muscly, we're going to have those details in there. And this line is the central abdominal line, which I've trying to keep, because that's the twistiness of his body, because the body is quite twisted here, because the shoulders pulled back here. So what I'm going to do is just keep that line to remind me, because if you're going to have a belly button, it would be here. But because now a Naga, what do you reckon Naga are? Do you think they're live bearers, or do you think they come from eggs? Do they say in World of Warcraft? I never know, because like some reptile type creatures are live bearers, some snakes are, and some lay eggs. It's an egg, is it? Do I have really, really steady hands? On the most, yes, I do. Especially when they're resting on something like this for support. That line there, this is the snaky shape. They come from eggs, so in which case you're not going to have a belly button. So no belly buttons for Naga. But we need abdominal muscles here. So right, I need to think about the lines of these. And let's get this drawn a little bit more. How big is that line going to come out? There's a dip in there, and then it comes out some more, and then it goes back to that dip, because it's almost like a dragon's belly is how I'd think of that, where you have large bands coming across, and then you can't see the blue, but you have the blue light sketch I've done here. But you do... Oh, I've moved down again, haven't I? Hold on. Let's go on my knees. Hold on. There we go. Go back on my knees. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let me just check her. Become a doctor. Yeah, I'm not sure I could do doctor things. I could do dissection. That would be fine. I've never seen a Naga egg. I mean, the base is a night elf. Yeah, that is true. Live stream surgery could be a new market. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Mr. Grumpy Face, though. I'm going to do this line here. I mean, I like the anatomy side of things, understanding how anatomy works, because that's really helpful when it comes to drawing. These lines I'm trying to not do just solid but broken up, because they will help not overemphasize the shape, because this is coming right down here and then up there and then up there, and this one comes down to about here and then in a bit and then out a bit, because the line for the back fin, the tail, they're quite fat, the Naga tails. There's another one there, another spike up there, so that would then carry on there, just leaving some room for everything. This way you can at least see. Let's do this all in. Let's go all in with the line, because you want to be able to see the shape of the tail. There's a little bit of a stumpy tail down the end, and then this line I'm going to I want to get this curve right, because this is important to sell the whole thing. Because then that comes out and round here, and then this bottom bit needs to have a bit of flatness to it. Let's go round this way. There we go. Well done. Feeling so relaxing to watch. Sorry, let's catch up on chat. These days you can stream record anything and people would watch. This is true. Thank you, Corvus Artist. Feeling very zen right now. Anything medical related would intervene with the doctor-patient trust relation. Yes, I definitely think so. Alright, so what I'm going to do is going to stop myself from smudging this one. I'm doing it upside down because wrists are better doing that action for a curve than doing that action. Because if you do that action, you go really wobbly, whereas this way you can do a nice smooth arc with your wrist and your fingers. It's important not to go too feathery. Think about the points of contact on the ground, which is going to be probably there, because that's going to be a little sharp corner there, and this one's slightly less sharp. And then I'm thinking a line. I've already done the preliminary blue line, so I've got a guide, and then I'm thinking from there slightly further out and then round there, and then that darker, slightly heavier, because that's the point of contact, so it's the quality of the line is in more shadow, like that. So there you can see the shape of the tail now and the body. There you are. I wonder if there's a stream that just reads books. Yeah, I reckon there's probably something to do with that. Read Lord of the Rings or Magician. Ooh, Magician. Is that the Salvatore one? Bob Salvatore one you're saying, Sharkin? There's some audiobooks on there. Hey, Bad Dory, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Read Lord of the Rings for you. Use Audible. Yeah, that's another one. Oh, I missed a bit from Costa. Where did I go? Hold on. In 4 hours when you go to bed, can you turn your stream into a bedtime story stream? Right, I'm with you now. Now I've caught up on it. Because they are hatchlings. That is true. You do not hatch when you're live born. That's a good point, Costa. Yeah. Catch up on chat. There we are. The Raymond Feist one. That's it. Yes, Bob Salvatore's Forgotten Realms, isn't he? With Dritz, the Dark Elf. Yeah, Magician. That is one of my all-time favourite books. Sharkin, Magician, and then the other books that went around that. I liked the other side, the Akoma ones, the Daughter of the Empire, Mistress of the Empire, and another one. Those are brilliant books. I loved those. Right. Just going to go for a quick bio break and I'll be back. Okay. Right. There we go. I'm back. I was just going to catch up on chat. There we go. Random Face ones. See and hear a streamer read the story you like. Oh, that's a good idea, Corpusartis. Yeah. Dritz to Erden. That was the one. Love those books. Yeah, me too. Devery Cycle at the moment from Catherine Kerr. Oh, I remember Catherine Kerr. I remember reading some of her stuff, the early stuff. Aragon series, yeah. First WoW character was called Dritzy. That's pretty cool. As Often You Can, you love Brandon Sanderson's work. Not heard of that one, Mr. Grumpy Face. Wheel of Time after Robert Jordan passed away. Ah, right, okay. Last series you read was Black Dagger Brotherhood, Vampire one. Oh, that's pretty cool. I've not read Twilight. Back to Work. What's that, Raika? That's awesome. That's a lovely setup there you got. That's work to me. That definitely sounds good. Right, let's just sit down for a little bit, but make sure I'm upright, and I can have some more coffee. So, looking at this, abdominals, twisted abdominals. What kind of muscles are underneath here is the main thing you've got to think about. If you're going to do anything, you've got to think about the abdominals and the obliques and how they look. Hold on, let's look at some reference. There we go. One of my all-time favourite books. That's not a fantasy one. Anatomy Drawing School. So in here we can see abdominal muscles. That's pretty good. So you've got the shape here. These like your six-pack shape, and then your obliques and stuff coming down the side of these. So I'm thinking we could do horse, but probably not. Thinking muscles. Have you got anything shape-wise? You've got the shape there of the obliques. And a chimpanzee, which is much wider actually, looking at the shapes of those. And then the obliques coming in the side. So, thinking about it with the anatomy of the obliques there. So you've got the hip bone, and then the obliques come over the top there. And these muscles here, you've got to think about the attachments. So, back to my drawing, looking at you're working in mortuary. You'd love the autopsies. Oh, definitely, Corvisatis, definitely. I've watched a lot of sort of like animal dissections, veterinary stuff, to get an idea as how the muscles of animals work, and this is kind of similar. So definitely stream my work. You mean the actual sort of the CG stuff I do, Bad Dory? Or do you mean for Corvisatis to stream your work? That would be interesting. That'd be very interesting. So what I'm thinking here is these are in compression here, whereas these are larger. And then looking at the oblique, the six-pack shape, you're thinking that, and then out here more, and then the same this side, that, and then I'm going to do a almost rib cage coming out there, and then that line there, and then up here is much higher up, and then I've got to think there's potentially ribs here, so that's there and that's there. So just mapping this out as to the shapes I want to make, like that. Yeah, not having smell-o-vision, I can imagine the smell's probably pretty intense, Corvusatis. But that's really interesting work, autopsies. It's something my wife, I reckon, would have loved as a job, because she's really into she knows a lot more about muscles and insertion points and things like that. There was a TV show of a German guy that did dissections of people on TV. Really? I know there's a crime drama that's on a UK, Silent Witness, that's about pathologists, but obviously that's dramatised and isn't actually isn't quite as scientific. What was the name of the show? Hey, Right One Two, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Especially show the ones that died from illness. Yeah, definitely. I'll be interested in, if you can find the name of that show, I'll be interested to try and find it out. Thank you very much, Right One Two. It's very kind of you. We're just working out abdominal muscles at the moment, which is an interesting one, and talking about autopsies on the side, which is doubly interesting. Hey, Ashmakov, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Not been able to catch a stream since Christmas. Wow. Well, glad to have you finally catch me. This is a slightly different one, obviously doing a creative stream at the moment, but it's still World of Warcraft themed, and people are more than welcome to talk about gold making on the stream, even though we're doing creative things, because this is a anything and everything kind of stream. Show things on Channel 4 10 years ago. Gunther von Hagens was the doctor who did autopsy. Ah, right. Okay. He recently visited Surgeons Hall in Edinburgh. I didn't know there was a Surgeons Hall. That sounds cool. Corvusatis. I was in Edinburgh on holiday last year. I loved the Scottish Museum there. But Surgeons Hall sounds definitely right up my street. There's a show. There's a show on in London. It's coming up in the summer, I think. That's got a lot of underwater sea creatures dissected. I can't remember the name of it. My wife was telling me about it. And there's also a really good place in the Grant Museum of Zoology in London, where they do a session called Dead Life Drawing. And because they've got all the different sort of dead animals that are both stuffed and sort of skeletons there, you go along for an evening and you draw the dead animals, which is really, really cool. Right, Thinking Scales. Autopsy, Life and Death on Channel 4. Okay, look it up on YouTube for the autopsy ones. Really good program. Yeah, thanks, Mama Kinder. I'll look that one up. I remember looking at the Inside Nature's Giants series, which did the animals. That was really cool. I'm going to carry on the diamond scale theme here, but I'm very conscious I want to keep these abdominal lines at the same time, so I almost want to do a crease where they are, and then round off the tips. So I'm trying to think how this would look and map something out with a row of diamond shapes that are slightly more rounded. Not sure about that one. Maybe if I do them slightly bigger, like that and that. Yeah, there we go. That one, connect that, connect that. Then I've got a line of bigger diamonds here to follow. And then I'll compress these ones that are down here. Don't know. Oh yeah, the camera's actually picking up those details. You can just about see the faint lines I'm drawing here for the scales. I'm conscious now that I'm going to smudge my line because I'm leaning on it, so I'm going to have to put a bit of paper over it. There we are. I used to watch the zoo ones, but they did stop them mid-season because too many people complained. That's a shame, Bad Dory. Oh hey, oh hold on, let me just catch up on chat. I missed out. Did my obliterum sell or expired? Not sure, cause it's probably expired. I haven't checked. I didn't check at all yesterday. And hey, Death Arrow, thanks for stopping by. And Shark, I'm a bit behind on your reading, but I have a full collection of Ludlum. Okay, almost Felix Thijsens. That's an interesting name. The Dutch author. Plenty of others in the genres of Lundum. Jeffrey Cleaver. I've never heard of any of those, but they sound like pretty cool ones. I see a soul. Yeah, I'll just double check I've caught everything on everything. Yep, there we go. Cool. There we go. All caffeinated up now. This needs to be dissected like that. And I'm going to break this one up by following that line there to there. And then those were big diamonds that made the shape really cool. So if I follow those up here behind, then I can do that and that and that. Okay, that's that done. Let's mix up this music a little bit. It's Thijsens. Is it a j sound? Is the j a j, or is it a h sound? Thijsens or Thijsens? Let's go to another one. Oh, got an ad, hold on. Skip ad. What have we got? Skywall. Oh, this could be an interesting one. Let's try this one. Right, next line of abdominal muscles. So it's Theson's pronounced. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Thank you for the pronunciation. Diamond, diamond, diamonds following round. Those two match. They really need to be. That point needs to be. We need a point there. And that's there, like that. So that means a th is just a T. All right, okay, and IJ is I. Ah. So the H is silence. Not an E, but an R, EI. So would it be Tyson's? Is that right? Tyson's. Ah, okay, thank you very much. That's today I learnt how to pronounce. That line there, that's helping sell the idea of twistiness, whereas this one is more bulginess because it's keeping that shape. So I want to do the main one here to say that's bulgy, which means this one is bulgy, but then this one is going back up, which puts that there and connects that one up there. There we go. Now we've got something. And then this one, make these a bit bigger. You can afford to increase the scale of the scales, because that's going to help. Oh, I'm off a line now. I need a middle line. There. 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 And there. Which means I can then do this line down to the bottom. There. There. And then I can carry this round. Maybe stick another scale in there. Yeah, let's stick another scale in there so that folds in on itself a little bit. Keep that line as another scale, kind of point like that. And then the same here, we need to just fill that in a little bit more. So it's important to kind of map out these scales so we've got a sense of what goes where muscle wise. Now I've kind of lost my line that I was having here, my bouncy line. So I need to just think about that for a minute. Maybe go there. How's that going to fit? Oh, there we go. That's an idea. It kind of starts overlapping on itself. And that line to there Just trying to think of the scales, how they would be as you start looking at them from the side. You want that bulginess coming through like that, and then that one's more bulgy. So the line, these scales are bent. They're kind of like beads. That's the word I'm looking for. And then we can do his belly one round here. Okay, central diamond there. One there. There we are. And then that line, and come round this side. Now these are bending round the other way, so these are stretching out a little bit more. I'm actually going to split this line a little bit and get myself an extra load in here, because otherwise they're going to be too big. I want to get the shape of those defined, because there's more, these are stretched out almost, which means these have to be longer but still bent. We're doing that bendy line here, which means I wanted to do that. And then that's kind of a diamond, yeah. Which gives me that diamond. Another one there, another one there. And then stretch these out to really long diamonds. Like that. So those are the lines of the scale. You can sit at your PC and play a game for hours, or even a couple of hours, but you'd never have the patience to draw anything better than a stick figure. Well, you start with the stick figure, and then you just kind of just elaborate more on it, really. That's how I think of it, anyway. Because now we've got scales going down his body. At least you can do a stickman. Hey Clayton, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing well today. I wonder if I do these sides darker, that would help in terms of making it look like there was, like the same on here, there was a dark and a light area. But I don't know. I quite like the scaliness of these. I need to think of this line continuing round though, because that's going to be there. This is the central line of his body. So there's larger bulges here, and then here, and here, and then what kind of shape do they have there? They go more diamondy shape, straight down as plates. I wonder if we could incorporate that in as a transition from the scaly side things to something more like the, so we'd go more like into a point here. That could work. Let's do that. So let's take the idea from these and have them come to more to a point. That way we've got a design that's getting more and more worked out, I think, like that. Just continuing to farm fish at the Darkmoon Fair and rabbits. Excellent, Clayton, that's cool. What's the name of what I've drawn? It's called a Naga, N-A-G-A, Woken. This is a Naga Myrmidon, which is the male warrior type. The females have they're usually casters, and they're the magicians of the realm of the Naga race. They're basically corrupted night elves, is the story behind them. From little scales to big scales. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Bad Dory. So, because then looking at this, these big ones are coming down. You might even want to just do an overlap. Where's this line coming down? It's probably coming down here and then being compressed. Got to think about the shape here. There's got to be round, obviously, but then this is the bit that's compressed. Oh, thank you, Woodser, for the follow. Very kind of you. So I'm thinking almost like plates, like they've got here. You could do those plates, this side and this side, and then I'll do a transition point from here to there. So if this is a plate, we're going down to the point here and out here. So I might need to rethink this outline a bit more. I think if this is going to be more of a plate, that's going to have to come out like that, go in there, and then this one is going to be more of a line like that for underneath there. So we might have to rub this out. There and there, and we also need to rub out that line and that line. That's looking a little bit too knobbly perhaps, so let's make it not quite so much like that. So we've still got Naga spiny, curved snaky shapes. Just clean that line up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, the ones you just did need to be a bit bigger. Yes, I think so. These ones here are compressed. I'm going to make these ones go bigger into this one, into sort of these larger shapes like we've got here. I think that will help quite a lot. The only drawings you could really good with technical drawings, you could do them on a computer, because with a pen and paper it'd be a messy thing, a lot of fingerprints. Yes, that's true, Soul Maestro. But then the technical side of things, that's another side of computer graphics, which I do quite a lot for my main job. So I like that side too, the technical side. Just thinking about the lines here. Something like that, I reckon. What's my book that said about the Naga? Fire Reservoir. Yeah, looking at these pictures and stuff, I can't really see it so well on this guy. But these lines go more bandy across, whereas they're more scaly there. And then there's kind of some armor bands there. Whereas you look at this one, these are more the big plates that we're just thinking about now. And then she's got this great big armor piece, which is really nice. And this guy down here, it's got very definite long scales. I'm not so keen on those so much. I more prefer the smaller ones or these platey ones like this. But it helps to break up the line a little bit more on that, I reckon. So I think those would work. So we got to think transition now from small snaky scales to bigger plate scales, because this is the soft body, the torso, and then we want to think bigger towards here. So you almost want to go keeping the line there. From there, we'll make use of the diamond shape there, that's a good idea. And then make these much bigger. Where would that go in there? How would that follow? And then that. And this. Where's that diamond shape gone? I've lost it. Yeah. Have looked at some reptile scales and see how they fold under each other. That's a good point. Let's have a look. I want to think crocodile belly. Really. Let's see what Google image says for crocodile belly. Oh, that's interesting. They're they are more bandy, quite soft, quite square looking scales actually. So maybe we could go into more of a square design. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking up, Soul Maestro, the crocodile scales. I can't put the images across unfortunately because the way I've set up my camera. So we're gonna transition to be more lines and rectangles, I think. Let's just have a think about this idea. Now keep the diamond. We could then take the diamond shape and elongate it out, and then slowly make that into a banded crocodile shape. Maybe if we take that diamond and slowly shrink it from there to there, and then make these, that could work. These bigger bands, something like that, then that comes in at the side. like a longer strip, I think. Or check snake, WoW serpent. Okay, let's have a look at WoW serpent. Another tab. WoW serpent. There you go. Images. Yeah, they're kind of all. Oh, that's something like that. Yeah, they're more banded, aren't they? Yeah, definitely. I think we've got to think about this transition though, because obviously this is. I've taken this one. I like the way that's gone for the abdominal area. So I want to think about how I'm going to go from these bands, because I've got the diamonds there. So the main thing is to think about the central line, because those areas are where you're going to draw my reference, really. I think that's working. Let's try that again. Definitely want that. Actually, that bulge there could work. I'll make use of that, because I want it to be curvy, and I like that line that's coming across there. I could probably just compress that in a little bit more with another snaky type one at the side. Yeah, they are pretty soft and flexible. Just look, I've got some on my right hand side. They've got some interesting wide bands that go across like this, and then they go into the more. They actually have quite small scales along the edge. So I think we could probably make use of this and then just accentuate this a bit more with the lines I've got. I like that line. I'm going to take a couple of lines out from this one. So we've got the diamond shape coming into a wide shape. So there's two become one. Not a Spice Girls song, but something like that. That way we're following the idea, but we've still got to transition from our snaky diamonds, which are here still. And this is the connecting one. This is the important one. I want to get the lines right here. I don't want to go too small. Thinking there, there and there. There we are. That's the diamond shape I want in there. And then that's tiny little ones off in the distance. And then that shape is that. That one goes tucked into that one. That one's tucked into that one. That bends over. And that one goes there. And then we're going into wider crocodile ones. I'm going to keep that central diamond. I like that, because then that follows on from the pointy bit we have here, and I like the way those go because they really sell the beading that goes down the center of centre of the body. So we've got a bigger one here, then it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, whilst the ones to the side of it get wider and longer and more crocodile-like. Like from there, following out the line from there and there, gives us a shape like that. Just trying to work out the lines and the patterns really. Oh, put something on Discord again. Okay, let's have a look. I need to move the window up. Hold on. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, the sort of the long bands is what we're going for there. Cool, yeah. So we're going across here now. And now I've got to think about this side, what kind of shapes I want for the scales here. Well, I was liking the shape that was coming out of this one, so I'm going to keep that in. But maybe we need to just make that into a large diamond shaped scale, like so. Then we can get rid of that central line. And then we want to keep some smaller things. Johnny Boy, thank you very much for the host. It's very kind of you. I hope you had a good stream, and welcome everybody who's come from Johnny Boy's stream. I am Samadan and I play WoW mainly. The main thing I do is make gold on World of Warcraft, but I also do creative every now and again, about once a week, and this is my Naga drawing, which we've been working on for the past couple of sessions. Hey Johnny, thanks ever so much for the host, it's very kind of you. How was your stream? I hope it went well. Going to do another diamond shape here, I think. And then we're going to go along here somewhere. Once I work out the scales. It's looking a little disjointed, perhaps. Once I think of the line, like another line there, then I need to break that up in scales. So tired. Hurry. Well, I hope you managed to get some good rest. Don't know what time zone you're in, Johnny, but it's more coming up for early afternoon here. About to get to midday in the UK. So I probably won't be on too long because I got my family coming around in a bit. That's not right. I don't like that. So yes, almost 4 AM. Wow. Okay, that is late. So yeah, you must be tired from that. But thank you ever so much for the host. So yeah, normally my streams are about World of Warcraft gold making, but with these creator streams we have a nice chill morning chatting about all sorts. So if you like what you see, please sort of, if you want to see more, press the follow button up at the top, or I also do all this stuff on YouTube as well, so it's the same name, Samadan Plays WoW. You can find me on there as well. Ah, thank you Johnny for the follow, very kind of you. This shape is not selling it for me, this transition. It looks a little chaotic. But let's go with it for now and see if we can get ourselves a nice... The diamonds are easy. we can follow the line of those. It's turning those diamonds into the long shapes that we want to do. So they become squished diamonds, which means that needs to go there. There we go. And that needs to go there. And I've got lines going that way. Okay, now I'm happy with that. I've got the shape I wanted. And then, there we go, that's going around there, that's there, got this mapped. And then, do we do another one in here? Or do we do a large, we'll do a large one here. And then we can go out this way, and out that way with those two. And do I do them as bands now, or do I do smaller scales? Let's do another band, but these are becoming more rectangular. And they will define this shape. That's the plan. So this can then join that, and then that line needs to now be a pinch point and come out a little bit, and so can that. And then we can get rid of that line there. And then just do this in a little bit more. I might have to redefine a lot of that from looking at this. Don't want to overwork the drawing too much by rubbing everything out, but we need to get these shapes defined. Good night, Johnny. Thanks ever so much for the follow, and the host. Very kind of you. I hope to see you again soon. Oh, you got another one on Discord. Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, I see. So you've got the big ones, and then you've got the small ones down the side. Yeah, we've lost a bit of the delineation along this side further up because we broke this line, but we can fix this one quite easily, I think, by taking these longer into lengths like that. I think that shape there is much better. There we go. Yep, no, they're all cool costumes. It's the good thing is it's all ideas, and you throw the ideas into the pot. You draw some lines, then you have a look and you see what works and what doesn't. See, I'm looking at this area. This to me isn't working so well. We've got some nice diamonds here, but this one doesn't quite fit. There's an extra diamond here, but I want to break it up somehow. So I'm not sure how to best do that one. I would maybe, looking at this, I want to keep that line, and I'd maybe just put one small diamond in there and take that line out, some more there. Just thinking out loud. Which means that if I take that and that and that off and that off, we've got some nice longer, we've got the longer shapes, but then we've got the smaller ones, especially in there, like that, and in like that. And then maybe, well, let's leave that for now. Maybe I'll have to come back to it and have a look and decide what kind of shapes I'm going to do. 'Cause there's another diamond in there. So we do that one down there, and then we can do that one there. So we've got a line of diamonds there and a line of diamonds there. And then this small diamond, and then I'm going to do a line across here. I'm tempted to do another diamond there. I like that, quite like that diamond shape. Elongate that one. And then this, yeah, we can then do this as a larger one that comes across there. And then this comes across there. And then this is bending round, obviously. With a little bit one there, a little bit one there, a little bit one there. And I'm going to keep that one as a nice big bulge there. And then, ooh, it's an inflicted wound, like a darker ragged triangle. Well, now we're flowing with ideas. I wonder how I'd incorporate something like that in. I don't really want a big diamond here. But I do like that kind of shape, so it would be along like that, and then take that one out. There you go. And then that band, and then, oop, that's the wrong way round, like that, and that one like that. I think I've at least planned it out a little bit better. Still a little bit confused in this central area, going from diamonds like that to long stretched out ones. But there we go. I think I'm quite happy with how that's gone so far. At least got an idea. So I think I can hear my family back now, so I'm probably going to finish up the stream there. Yeah, I think that's probably all the ones I wanted to do for now, and then we'll come back to this in our next session, and we're going to do more of the body. And what I'll do is I'll scan this in again. Won't be able to fit it all on my scanner because it's too big for my A4 scanner, but I'll try and get just this central area put on. We'll scan that in, and I'll stick that up on my Twitter account, which, where's my Twitter? Did that work? Oh no, can't spell. There we go, that works. So I'll pop the image on there and in my Discord as well, if those of you that follow me there. So big thank you everyone for hanging out today, this morning. Thank you ever so much for the chats and the suggestions and hanging out on the stream. Let's see if there's anyone we can pass a host over to. I mean, we can go WoW Gold ways, I guess, would be the main thing I'd look at. See if anyone's actually on this time of day. Seems we're all mainly gold makers here. Obviously I know those of you who have come from Johnny's are not necessarily gold makers. I can't see anyone on other than perhaps Student's on. If those of you that like Student Albatross, who does the gold farming, he's a lot more energetic than me, and tends to have a lot more what would I say? A lot more energetic music as well. So I think I'll throw a host over to him. And obviously, hey Jack, I'm literally just finishing up, but thanks for stopping by. Have to catch you again later perhaps. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to throw a host over to Student, and we're going to have a look and see. Be prepared for a slightly more energetic more energetic stream, and he does his gold loot appraiser challenges is the main thing he's on about. But yes, it's a very different stream to mine. Mine's very much a chilled stream, so obviously feel free to choose what to do with your time and your viewership, but I'll throw a host over to him. So thank you everyone for hanging out this morning, and I'll be back on tonight. The schedule's on my Twitch further down, and we want Sam. No worries, Mr. Grumpy Face. Thank you very much. He was right on time. So yes, I'm on tonight, so you can catch me tonight, and I'm on tomorrow night, which will be doing the normal gold making things. So I'll throw a host over. Let's type that in. I think I've spelt that right. Right, brilliant. Okay, thank you everyone. Go say hello to Student if you'd like some upbeat, energetic gold farming. And I'll see you on tonight for some more gold making. Thank you ever so much, and I'll see you later. Thank you and goodbye.